Colleen got a chance to meet her as well and to understand her.
So how did that happen?
Well, what had happened was they decided that they needed someone when I asked for it, because Colleen and I decided that the way we were doing this wasn't working, because it would just every time I would do a little section, for a few hours, it would just wipe me out. So
okay.
I wasn't doing too well. So we said we need somebody to help, and we discovered that when we were doing the Arcturians that the energies were just incredible. And so what we decided was we should ask for an Arcturian, and so they brought Supa to us. And she just did a marvelous job of maintaining alignment so that you could just sit there and get the whole energy package from the different beings. We had dinosaurians, reptilians, amphibian, and they're from all different groups. They're from Orion, they're from Draconis, and a whole bunch of different areas in the galaxy. And they explained their civilization and what it was like, and how different it is from ours. They're more hierarchical, they were more tyrannical, etc. And of course, they were advanced in mind control and technologies involved with manipulation and control of people. And so, what happened was they're changing, and they wanted to explain that. And one of the problems they have, they're used to coming in very, very strong, kind of like oomph. You know, like some action character. They come running in. And so...
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive. Because that's the way their basic civilizations were set up. They were extremely aggressive beings. And so, because they were used to running the universe, they were in charge of this galaxy as far as their Dark Lord had told them was called Anchara. And so, as a result, they tended to be very, very difficult to maintain an alignment with, because it was so strong. And so what she did was maintain that alignment.
Now, did she appear before you?
Well, you could see in her mind's eyes. You could see her to me, I saw her all the time, and you could talk to her. So.
Wow, that's interesting.
And so one of the things we do, I had Miriam do some drawings. And so one of the things you will see drawings of are the bear-like people of Seti Tau, and also the Arcturians, humans, and also did pictures of the amphibian peoples as well.
Oh, good.
So you can see how they did. Also, I did a lot of the ships that they have are in there when they talk about the section at the end of each chapter, which is about the ships. So what we are doing with this is really 3 points. One, to introduce these 22 beings out of many. These are 22 civilizations, star nations, to people, both human and non-human, and to have them understand that what's happening up there is this great shift, and how anxious they are to help us along with this whole particular process, and that they are our neighbors, that they are here to help us, and that they are not all looking like us. Matter of fact, most of them don't. So,
are they all fully conscious?
Most of the people shifting from the so-called dark side to understanding and being in the light, most of them did not yet develop to have light bodies. So they're very, very 3D. But they are learning how to do that process. So really, as we're shifting, they're shifting as well.
All of them?
Well, most of the ones that we talked about, there are about 12 of them out of the 22 that are fully conscious. The other 10 are mostly the former dark side, former what I like to call Anchara alliances, they told me to call them. They're just adjusting right now.
Okay.
So they're basically 3D beings, but very incredible with mind control, and very strong, powerful, highly aggressive beings who are shifting right now. And so that's what this book is about, is to explain that even people who were at one time the other side in these so-called galactic wars are shifting. And this is part of a whole process of how this whole galaxy is shifting from being a world and a reality of darkness into a world and reality of light. And that's what's basically happening out here, not only here, but throughout the galaxy. And that's what this book is basically about, is understanding for people of how this process has happening and who they are and how they're changing, as well as the Galactic Human Societies giving you different concepts of how galactic societies are put together, so you can see that galactic societies are very different in terms of how they're organized, but the basic goal of them is pretty much the same. And so you can get to see that, because one of the things they want us to do is understand who we are, because a lot of us come from these basic human civilizations that are in the book, and to understand that these basic concepts of how the civilizations are put together, we can take different parts of this and utilize it to create our own galactic society and our own star nation and our solar system. And so that's another aspect. And so I have charts of all the different systems so you can see how they operate.
How interesting. How much are they learning about us?
They're learning a lot about us. They are really fascinated with who and what we are. And what has happened is the civilizations, especially that are non-human, that are coming from the dark side, that are just learning how to create light bodies, they're just learning about full consciousness, they look upon us as being part of the prototype procedure for who they are and how they're changing. So they look upon us now as a very important part of their process of change, and they are mirroring a lot of how we're changing and how they're changing. And they've noticed the similarities between it, because what happened is our societies, like theirs, were based upon hierarchical control, limited concepts of power, and for the resources in the minds and hands of a few, instead of being distributed throughout the society. So what has happened is they are seeing us beginning a shift, and they want to mirror that shift, because that's what they're also doing. They're moving from a society that was very tyrannical and top-heavy to a society in which they have rights for everybody, and everybody's not treated like soldier slaves anymore. And
these are the non-humans you're talking about?
These are the non-humans that used to be part of the Inchar Alliance, exactly.
Okay.
And you'll meet them. They're Eta Insignia Draconis. They're people from Orion, the Bellatrixians. They were the ones that came in at first that really wiped me out, because they come in very, very strong, and you have to learn how to adjust to them if you're not used to the energies, because it's extremely powerful. Wow. It's almost like somebody comes in with a laser gun. Whamp.
Wow, is that dangerous for you?
It was at times, but through the help of Supa, I got through all of this process.
Your Supa. Wow.
And she's quite a being. I'm kind of giving her a giant plug here, but I think she deserves it.
There's a picture of her, too?
Yeah, there's a picture of her representing the Arcturians in there. Got 3 pictures of her, exactly.
Wow.
And you'll see what an incredible being she is. But she's basically how the Arcturians are, how their basic looks. So from her you can get an idea. And when we do it, we show their basic costume when you see pictures of them.
Oh, good. That's
actually drawings, because they can't do pictures, because the book probably wouldn't get published if we did pictures.
Now, do any of these work with people of the Inner Earth?
All of them work with people of the Inner Earth. The Inner Earth Council is a part of the Federation, and they have been acting as the divine overseers with the Ascended Masters of this whole first contact process from the beginning. So that's why a lot of these quote-unquote underground bases that the Galactic Federation has are really those that originally were those of the various beings in the underground Inner Earth cities. And so there's been a long period of cooperation and supervision by Inner Earth people with who and what we are, and the changes that the Federation as First Contact is doing. So yeah, they've played a big part in this whole procedure. So they are definitely a part of this whole thing, and they would like to, after contact, be part of the process of allowing ourselves and themselves to come together and really create a union of Earth in its full concepts. Unlike geology says to you, there is an inner Earth. There is a process on this planet, a geological process, which allows for a hollow Earth to exist, and that is basically how all the planets exist. They have these inner processes, and they have these same basic points or nodes. And the result is that if you understand how a planet operates, which science right now is only giving hints of, allowing certain researchers to get their information out, you begin to see that these planets are not just not dead things, but are living beings. They have a consciousness. They breathe just like we do, and they change just like we do. And so we just have to understand that this exists, and there are stewards on this planet, and we were part of the steward system, only we